Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to show you Executive Automats tool that allows you to record business processes, for instance, in Dynamics 365 for finance and operations, which you can modify and play back multiple times in different configurations and set up to test your environment. Our tool is web-based, so all you have to do is just open the link and log in with previously created user. Before we create our first script, we need the right setup. In the settings, we can add a connection to Dynamics, also called as system definition. It's simply the environment we are going to test. To begin with, we need to give it a name. The second field is the most important in this case, because here we need to enter the link to the environment. Application name and environment type are just tags. Last required field, system platform, defines which kinds of rules and methods that are capturing elements on the screen will be used for the selected environment. The next setting we need before scripting is virtual user. It allows you to keep login process during script playback or creation. At the beginning, we should name it. Also, we need to type our Azure Asset VE directory credentials. Platform is also important, but since virtual users works mostly with Microsoft products, so we can stick with Microsoft login. Once virtual user is created, it is in state as not authenticated. We need to execute special script in the background by clicking on Authenticate button and wait for it to complete. During that process, we will generate token from the Office site and save it to the database. It will be used as input when we start our script. In case of additional security on the user, for instance, multi-factor authentication, we can handle it with manual mode feature. Then, we can interfere with authentication process, we can pause it, enter SMS code, or approve the process via authentication app. Now, when we have system definition and virtual user ready, we can create a project. Because without a project, we cannot create a script. Projects works as a folders for our scripts. We can create a structure of testing, which will help us in the management of the whole testing project. Setting everything up took a few seconds, so let's move on to creating the first script. Let's select already existing project and give our script a proper name. Then you can change environment and virtual user, but also you can leave it as it is. When all necessary fields are filled, we can click Create and add new steps. New steps could be added via Advanced Recorder in a new tab. You can spot the player and the recorder on the right side, and Dynamics in a few seconds on the left side. Thanks to virtual user, we were automatically logged in. Now the idea is pretty simple. Click on record and follow your process. All user actions are saved as steps on the right side in the recorder. I will proceed with simple free text invoice process. During recording, we can manipulate the steps which were recorded, remove unnecessary ones, add new, reorder them. In other words, we have full control of our script at any time. When the script is ready, we can check if everything is correct by switching to the player and running the script. If the step is successful, we have green mark next to it. If there is an error, we will receive red X and the playback will stop. Let's wait and see how it will perform. Since the script has finished, let's go back to the tool and see the execution history. Here we have all the basic information about our script. Let's double-click to open it. All the steps and out values can be checked. Now we know the process worked as intended. Now let's go back to the recorder and make some changes. In test automation, we also need to met expected results, and for that we can create validations. To do it, we need some data. If we want to capture anything that's visible from the screen, we can use Inspect feature. If we click here, we will create special tab where new step and new variable will be created. But that's not everything. In the same window, we can compare the values. If USD is equal to USD, then we can continue or use other options. Else we can, for instance, stop and show an error message or use anything else that's needed. We can simply adjust it to our needs. It's always editable. What if we want to change the values on our steps? Instead of creating new step with a new value, we can enable edit mode. Here, the The first feature is constant value. We can change it manually and enter new value via keyboard. For more sophisticated option, we can go for the picker, select variable, data source, which is nothing more like Excel file sequences. It's really helpful when we need to create unique values during each execution. Scripts, it's similar to standard script feature, but in this case, you can use it to create end-to-end scenarios and share values between linked scripts. The last position on the list is global variables. And as the name says, it's global because we can share values between non-linked scripts across the Executive Automats environment. Let's go back to the tool once again. In Executive Automats, we have two types of execution: foreground, which you have seen so far, and background one that I would like to show you right now. This kind of playback is used mostly when we need to get more information about our execution. Thanks to the documentation feature, we can create Word or PDF file, video, or both. We can download them and document our work better and share it with colleagues or managers. This kind of playback is also used in the scheduler. Scheduler is a module in Executive Automats which allows to create some kind of batch jobs that contain scripts in the flow. Select which test should be executed, when we would like to trigger it, and how many times it should be repeated. When everything is ready, we can activate our scheduler and wait until the execution is done. So, for example, you can execute your tests in the Sunday evening and come back to the office in the Monday morning and verify the results. Of course, all the data we will receive in the History tab. Thank you for watching. We look forward to any questions you may have and are excited to assist you in implementing Executive Automats in your organization. Cheers.